How you doing, everyone? Jumping in here to talk about the international games and also a little bit about State of Origin as well. And we spoke about in the preview with the Kiwis up against Tonga that definitely thought that this is one of the best Kiwi teams put together, especially in the last sort of 20 years there, with that spine being definitely the strongest it's been. Forward pack has always been, there, but this time it had the combination together and thought that they would probably be too strong overall. And what would get Tonga home is that culture, along with maybe a strong defense as well. But just definitely overrun by the Kiwis, and obviously, showing the way through Jerome Hughes, who's definitely showing that whenever he's playing in any team, whether it be Storm or the Kiwis now, that he hasn't really played too many games, especially at halfback there for New Zealand, and he's shown the way beautifully, along with Mr. Joseph Manu, who ran for 398 meters, which was absolutely incredible, and a testament to how good he is in any position, whether it be 1, 3, or 6 there. So overall, just generally, that was the chat around that game. Tonga had their moments. They were in the game for certain periods of time, and great to see that they weren't absolutely smashed, because their work ethic, they definitely deserved to be a lot closer than like a 40-6 or something like that. And obviously being in the game pretty early on, the 2 tries early hurt them, but then to be 2 tries to 1 down for the majority of that first half, and only the 1 try let in the second, did a really good job. But the Kiwis are going to be really scary come World Cup time, that's for sure. And we'll move to a couple of other games I was able to catch over the weekend there. I wasn't able to see the Lebanon-Malta game, but by all reports, it sounded like it was a really enjoyable game at Belmore. And what a great spot to play that one. Had an old friend I used to play cricket with that was playing for Lebanon, so it was pretty cool. But Samoa there up against the Cook Islands. I saw probably a bit of the second half, a lot of tries being run in, a few length of the field ones as well from the Samoan boys, and a great effort. But I said didn't get to see too much of that one. But I know it was a 4-try effort from Nofaluma, and he picked up about 120 fantasy points, which is pretty crazy. So a good one for them, and a few of the young outside backs as well. Obviously Isaac Tungo out there, Taylor May, a few of those boys were out there. The one I did get to see the most of on that Saturday night was the PNG versus the Fiji boys, and a 24-14 win. When I had a look at the odds for this game, we had Fiji sitting at $1.25, which was obviously clear favourites there, and PNG came out and really had an incredible game. And you obviously see the 2 tries from Lockie Lamb, but it was 7 and 6 for them with Laybutt and Lamb that really helped dominate this game, and obviously a terrific kick back in from Justin Olam. And it's funny that I saw the Munster and Pap and a few of the boys there saying that you should take over from Munster, and fair play. It was a terrific kick back inside, that's for sure. Obviously, only the 10,000 that arrived. Obviously, it makes in the Campbelltown Stadium is pretty full. But it would have been nice to see a few more. But really, great overall. Young fella from the Fiji side, the Taruva there, had a terrific game at the back, and he's sitting behind a few in Edwards and Stephen Crichton at Panthers. So it'd be interesting to see where he ends up, because this is an awesome showcase for him, and a big showcase for a lot of these guys. Obviously, they play, there's the Queensland Cup boys, New South Wales Cup. They played in a bunch of these teams, especially PNG, plenty of the Fiji boys, Cook Islands, etc. So it was great to have them on a big stage, and obviously plenty of people watching on TV, but obviously a lot at the games as well. But they just really showed their dominance, and you can see just like how amazing it was pre-game for all of them with their war cries, the huckers and the dances as well was really special. So great to watch this game. Really enjoyed it. It was nice and close, obviously to the end there, with the try for Davey Mead and Lockie Lamb 66 and 74th, kind of sealing this one, being up 24-10 at that time. So really, really cool game that one was. We'll move on to Origin now, and this was obviously, it ended up being, the game was kind of sold by that sin bin at the end of the first half, and completely fair that was, for sure. They'd had a few plays in a row where they were holding them down, and that's definitely the biggest way that you can stop that kind of that from happening on a regular basis. And really from there, the New South Wales Blues picked up a try at the back end of that half, and then you could see visibly, they made it through that first sort of 7 or 8 minutes before Felice came back on, and they were absolutely cooked from then on in, and Blues showed their attacking flair, which they have always had, and Cleary and Luai getting some nice tries through the middle section of that second half. So definitely, personally, I feel like it was expected. Blues were going to come out with that 5%, you'd say, extra venom, just given that it's a do or die situation for them. It was in Perth, a neutral ground, so it's going to be very different heading back to to Brisbane there at Suncorp. But it really showed that the Maroons were in this, probably looking better than what the Blues did for the majority of the first half, and things like that can turn the tides, and thankfully it went my way in terms of the Blues. But a debut from Matt Burton from member, he's a special player. You can see that the levers on him, those legs are incredible, and how high he got that. You can see it. You can see it straight away as soon as it comes off his boot if he's actually got it well or not. And he hits probably at the moment probably 1 in 4, 1 in 3 hits really good. It's so hard to stop, and you saw Ponga go over and smack Tuilagi on the arse and say, "Good, better luck next time, pal. Good luck catching that," basically. So he did well to corral it after the first bounce. And for the haters or the doubters there of Cleary, he didn't really have a bad game the first one. He just didn't have any impact. And obviously, as a 7, that's what you need out of him. And he came out and did this now. Give him his praises for that. But we reset heading into game 3, and if he can come out and close this one out, it's going to be really interesting to see that happen. In terms of changes for that last game, well, center's going to be the biggest one there. I can't see him dropping Burton. You can't see it happening for sure. It's just going to be that right center with Crichton obviously not having a great game in game 2. Game 1 came on, in his first one, didn't have a lot of impact either. Got the ball stolen from him. A few different things there. I can see him being the one to potentially make way, whether it's for Latrell or another option. I can see that's definitely happening there. I do really like I spoke about in the preview, Burton being in that center role on the left, gives them another kicker there. With Trebojevic, with Latrell, they've had that X factor. They've been able to, especially those boys, more running across the field, popping up in different spots, whereas Burton's more the kicking game. And he ran really well out of trouble, which is something that Tupou and Toa are really good at. And whether you had the Fox there, which I still don't think he should have got dropped, but Tupou's done an incredible job. Both of them provide those good runs out of back play, and that's where I think we won it. This game, to starters, is getting us in a great position where the outside backs for the Maroons really struggled, I think, with that a little bit. So generally, there's a mixture of that. Burton coming in and really showing his impact. A mixture of that sin bin, which was definitely fair. And then they just ran away with it in the second half, which is good to watch. So I can't wait for game 3. Let me know your thoughts on that game. In general, I feel like Munster had a great start, and then the second half, just our forward pack came over the top of them, and Munster and DC were nullified. Whereas last game they had their way basically the whole game. So definitely a game of ebbs and flows, but it'll be very interesting to see how it all pans out in game 3. So let me know your thoughts on that, guys. Catch you in the next video.